I love micro lecturers. I love them so much. I love hypocrites. I love those people that constantly try telling you what to do. They themselves, whether they don't like being told what to do or not, which isn't really the premise, but they like seeing themselves give or tell others, boss around. But the moment they get told, or the moment they get the same energy, now it's all problems, issues. How interesting. So if I were to express myself on how you constantly telling me what to do doesn't allow me to live life to the fullest, and it shelters me and isolates me, now you try to, now you don't seem like a problem. Man, how hard is it for you to just accept that you have fallen short at times? I could go on for days on how much I've fallen short, but you can't? You know how many more times I will fall short? Plenty of more times. But you want to tell others how much they've fallen short just because it's them? Micro-lecturing has been a problem, a perennial paradox that has affected my life in many different ways. And I really don't like how most people try to convince you that you're not good enough in the most subtle and slick ways. It's pretty funny because they don't want to be, they want to tell others to be honest with each other and have hard conversation. But the moment it's time to actually confront and genuinely be honest with me, they get scared, they get mad soft. And it's quite shocking. This is the same exact space that tells me, be honest, don't lie. Even though the heart's deceitful, they say that. To express yourself with full transparency. Yet the moment I do that, now it's a problem. Now they want to micro-lecture me on how I should be expressing myself, when the way I express myself is the only reason why I'm here. But you want to minimize my impact. You want to minimize me. You want to create a fantasy. You want to create an image of me that you can only control. Nobody else. Not even my own self. And that's the worst part. So that's today's discussion. And I can go many different avenues. And I will. Now I have to go little by little. And it's especially pertaining to that space. That space is never going to get any type of remorse in me of getting. I could be like, hey, what's up? How are you? But other than that, I'm not going any deep conversations with these people anymore. I really don't like them. I hate them. I don't like most of the people. I genuinely don't. And if you think I'm exaggerating, just look at how I feel at times whenever I'm with them, especially within the past month or so. Look at how distant I become the moment that they're around me. I look for many different ways and many different calculations on how to not be near these people. Even if I'm in church, if I was in church at one point during Mother's Day, I've done everything in my power to not have a long conversation with some of these people. I've done everything in my power to avoid them. Just try to find new spots for me so I don't talk to them. They don't look to see me. I've done everything because they've ruined my life. I'm done sugarcoating it. I've done the whole, hey, they kind of half big and half ruined my experience in life. No. Let's just cut to the chase and let's just be brutally honest. Because even though brutal honesty is painful, and I wasn't even painful to even express this, but they ruined my life, for real. They didn't just, I don't just say this for exaggeration or for dramatic points, they genuinely ruined my life. They genuinely ruined my self-consciousness. They ruined the way I've experienced life or perceived certain intangibles. Seriously. There is no filter. There is no exaggeration in my vicinity when I'm talking about these people. Like, this is genuine. This is pure hate. I have pure hatred. I love hating these people. I get full entertainment. I get more entertained than angry at this point. It just brings me joy. It brings me joy to hate these people. They're just so hypocritical. They're so full of themselves. But they want to act as if they're not. But many different times, in many different cases, in many different situations, I have been micro-lectured. Yet, these same people that micro-lectured me, they're also, if not worse, than what I have done, what I have experienced. They have done many, many slick shading at me. They've done many bullying tactics to me, gaslighting tactics, manipulation tactics. Yet, I didn't have a choice but to just take it because I didn't want to cause problems. Because why would I? Because I already knew from the get-go, in some cases, where if I speak up about this certain person, whether bothering me, whether putting banter that I don't like or I don't approve, well, they're gonna start acting as if I invaded their whole privacy. They're gonna start acting as if the world is ending. Like, no, I'm just speaking up for myself. I'm defending myself. I don't want to be in a position where I have to fight you. I'm gonna talk about him shortly, but I'm gonna go step by step what has been going on with this micro-lecturing, and this is why it's such a big issue. It all started from even when I was younger. When I was younger, always being told constantly what to do, whether it's within school, whether it's within family. I'm not talking within training, like, hey, you can't cross the street without looking both ways. Not that type. Because I can understand that. They're looking out for my safety. Not those types. The types where they're constantly questioning my identity, or they're constantly trying to project their own issues and their own insecurities onto me. It all started when I was younger. So some of these people always perceive me as weird, but they don't direct it to me. It's just based on their body language and how they initiate themselves. They always feel as if they're intimidated by my presence. They're always feeling so power deflected, and they have to defend, or they have to be in this such weird paradigm to where now everything is against them. They have that me versus world mentality. And it's like, you don't have to do all that, okay? I didn't ask for you to sacrifice yourself for me. I'm asking you to be a human. That's all. I don't ask for much. I only ask you to respect others and to be kind to other people. You never know what they're going through. And to be grateful. That's all I ask of you. I don't ask you to sacrifice your identity for other people. That's not right. You are your own person for a reason. You have your own brain for a reason. Yet, in this particular micro-lecturing, it's all based on identity. It's all based on telling me how I should live life. And it all started when I was in high school or middle school. Either one of those. And I was doing some prompt about what I want to do when I grow up. And then some of these people within my own space, they were like, you want to do that with your life? Bro, you got to do something else. You got to figure out what else you're going to do. I'm like, son, just because I have one job and I just put one job I want to do and I want to pursue, it doesn't mean that I don't want to do anything else, dummy. Like, come on. Just because I said I want to be an actor, it doesn't mean I don't have other things I want to pursue. It just means at this very particular moment, I want to pursue this acting. I know there's going to be other factors like directing, stage management. Yeah, I want to try acting because I always like expressing myself that way. I like putting myself in other people's shoes to express myself. Yeah. There was another prompt in high school where I was talking to another person when it came to just overall expressing myself. But they start straight up judging me. Like, you can't just be an actor. I'm like, yeah, I can. There's people that have made such good amount of money just off acting. Oh, but you have to do other things. You have to pursue other avenues. Well, thanks a lot. I totally needed to hear that. Like, no duh, bro. No duh, there's gonna be other avenues and other options. Kid, directing is an option. Being a producer is an option. Being a screenwriter is an option. I've done playwriting. I've done directing. I have little experience with it. So you can't just tell me I only want to just pursue acting, but not consider that there's other factors and other things that I want to try. And I'm going. And it's not like I'm not open to try it, dummy. Like, you can't just micro lecture me on certain life experiences, and I haven't even entered the real world yet. This not only scares me and puts some type of fear in me, but it doesn't allow me to continue to fully pursue. This is one of the main reasons as to why I slowly stopped pursuing acting, just straight up, is because these people just ruined the way I ultimately wanted to just go after what I wanted. Because I didn't want to just go for acting either. It wasn't just the only thing on my mind. There was other humanitarian acts that I wanted to do. But because these people micro-lectured the way I was approaching, because they told me straight up, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I just said acting. And I didn't really put in much, because they just asked me a simple question. They didn't ask me to put more input and why. They just told me what I wanted to do, and I just did that. But then they acted like I put such a terrible, worst case scenario answer. They acted like I want to be a drug dealer. They acted like I put that as an answer. These people are so dumb and so dense. Like, they can't just simply tell me straight up what I want to do, and they can't just tell me, oh, what do you want to do and why? They can't just tell me that. They want to be like, oh, you can only be a specific type of career, and I want to prey on your downfall. Bro, just say that. Just say you want to prey on my downfall, and just leave it at that. Stop wasting my time. You wasted fully my whole time just over-exacerbating. Oh, this guy really wants to pursue this thing. Like, no, stupid. There's more. You're an adult, like. You're an adult making these freaking trend of substance for no reason. These hasty generalization. Are you stupid? Are you this on purpose obtuse? Are you purposely obtuse, bro? Like, it stopped I got completely stopped motivated, slowly and steadily, just by these people. But of course, I was younger. I was impressionable. Yet, I know people are going to be like, you shouldn't have been allowing these people to dictate how your life should be. But in ultimatum, you're always in prime position, especially when you're a teenager, to completely shift your chemistry within your nervous system. You're always in prime position. So if people are constantly harassing or telling you what to do within your own career, your own identity, then you're always going to be peer pressured to do more than you're told. You're always going to be told to do stuff that you don't want to do, and you're always going to chase the approval of other people. So that's exactly what happened to me. I started prioritizing other people's approval than my own self. So that's why I started getting way more complacent. I started to lose my own sense of power and control. Is because the little things like that, these little microtransactions of this nonsensical lecturing without any type of consideration and input, it just bothered me. And then it continues to bother me to this day, because you are a grown adult that is in prime position to guide somebody through for better, and you just decide to just judge me, to just hate me and prey on my downfall like that. And this is not no exaggeration. I just don't exactly remember what type of prompt it was or what type of execution I was doing in the process. I was doing stuff for university, and I was doing stuff for the future. Yet, you act as if I was creating genocide just off the occupation or the dream that I want to go for. And the other factors of just tuition and mental health issues have also strayed me away, but this micro lecturing was just as much a factor for me not being able to go after what I truly want, and for me to start depending on more people. And this is why I was always afraid to choose myself, because people were always constantly bossing me around and telling me what to do. And then the moment that I start trying to do that, and then now it's, oh, you're doing it wrong now. And that, it's like the whole paradigm constantly shifts the moment that I start doing it. The moment that I exist is when I'm starting to automatically do everything wrong. It's like I'm living. It's like I'm always in constant surveillance within the other spaces just because it's me doing it. It's weird. And I really don't like how a lot of the issues that suffice, even from just small, minuscule acts of just, oh, hey, you're telling me what to do. Oh, hey, you're not allowing me to grow and live life for what it is. A lot of that is also because I was scared of the results, and I was scared and I was in fear of how these people would perceive me. This is how you get fear of perception. The moment that people constantly have the surveillance, constantly monitoring, is the moment that you start being in fear of your own self. And it's the essence that I know I'm not doing anything wrong. I know that I'm living my life accordingly to my own timeline, and I'm not just abiding by any and everybody's standard, acting like it's written by law. However, it's just I live my life in constant surveillance. I lived my life according to other people so much, I didn't know who I am anymore. It's almost as if each and every time I try to prioritize myself, I make myself the centerpiece of my own life. It's like I relapse and I just fall short, and I fall into such terrible habits that only cater to just me, myself, and I. It only caters to just the insecurity that I expose with myself. So in this predicament, I was just spending the last 8 years post high school graduation just lost, confused, don't know what I'm doing. And even in certain instances, like 4 years ago when I was slowly starting to find myself, I relapsed again because I went back to church and they started telling me how I should live my life. And it was just, I fell back into temptation, I fell back into just bad habits, because even as much as 2 years before I went back to church again, I was starting to be a better person. I was starting to look and seek out my own self, and I was starting to go slow, better habits. But when I went back to church, it just fell flat again. I just completely lost myself. Me having autism and having a little bit of ego is apparently a sin to me. Like, I never jacked off, I never smoked, I never drank, I never slept around. I didn't have unsanitary, unnecessary sex, or I wasn't just having lustful, weird thoughts. The issue is that I had an ego and I was autistic. That's it. And I like being in solitude, but that's a sin apparently. And yeah, every now and then I like to eat good portions of food, but I'm sinning apparently. Everything is a sin to these people. Every action is a sin to them. They microtransaction this and fabricate every action, and they just automatically assume, oh, it's a sin. Like, bro, just drinking wine in itself is not a sin. Drinking wine consistently and just over relying and over consuming it, that's quote unquote a sin. But even then, you're not here to constantly lecture other people on how to live life or how they're constantly doing everything wrong. And that's how I feel. That's how I sense my life. My life, I have not prioritized myself in the best of light because other people have just brainwashed me. They have brainwashed me, and they have put such certain thoughts that they have altered my brain chemistry. They have altered the way I have navigated my life. I constantly live in fear every time I want to prioritize myself. The moment that I want to go out and ask my mom I can go for a walk, it feels like a damn chore. It feels like a whole chore for me to just ask to simply just go out for a walk, bro. It's crazy. It's wild to me. But I made these steps already. I'm already over that testament. I'm able to go out and go for a walk for myself. Just, hey, I'm gonna go for a walk. Or hey, I'm gonna go to New York City to grab some food. I can't just do that, bro. I can't just do that at times. Sometimes I'm like so worried and caught up in how some of these people are gonna react to some of the choices I make. I just decide sheltering is a good way. Sheltering is the only way that I can just live my life, because the only way I can just evaluate myself is through other people. I don't evaluate myself through my own self. And that's the issue. That's why I made this move. I had to make this pre-assumptive, reconcile my own self, because it's not even just the fact that I want to get myself together. It's just time for me to choose myself, man. And even if I get certain lectures of, hey, choose yourself. But I have a hard time choosing myself is because I have a lot of other people to dictate what I should do my whole life. I don't know how to do it, bro. I don't know how to choose myself. I have a difficult time, and that's what I'm going to figure out. I'm going to pave my way. I'm going to figure out what my interests are. And I have interests. I have different interests. I have different things I want to do. It's just a matter of making time for these other things, you know? And now we can talk about that space. We can talk about these things. We can make a joke with them.
Oh, Mr. Shane, you know, like, you're not being a good example of a leader when you decided to take one church day off. Yes, I know you were recovering from wisdom teeth 1 week ago. I know your brothers are sick, but you need to take the initiative still. Yeah, one family emergency, the world is ending. Apparently, I did five sets of Percocets. Apparently, I did 5 licks of codeine. I have pulled a gun on somebody, and apparently I threatened to shoot them. That's crazy, bro. Just me taking one day off, and I apparently need to repent 5,000 times before I even move on with my life. Crazy, impressive. I was obeying even my own parents, and now they just threw that out the window, though. These people never fail to tell me that they're hypocrites. They never fail to tell me that they're full of shit. So there's that. Oh, Mr. Shane, why are you not talking?
Why are you not talking? You should just talk. Look at this guy. This guy does not even talking much. This guy keeps everything to himself. Oh, you know, we're just hyperphone. They were just fucking No, you're just micro-lecturing me on how I shouldn't be myself. You're micro-lecturing and you're telling me how I should live my life because you don't like it. You don't like how you're intimidated by my presence. You're pissed. You're pissed that you can't take a hold of me. Or you realize that over time you can't get a hold of me again. You're done for. Bro, I already deleted all your contacts. I already blocked some of you because you guys overcall me. So, I'll unblock you later. For now, you're staying in a block list. I'll break up another phone. That has to do with my own parents' house. Right, this home. So, you're going to tell me that you want to lecture me on how I should express myself within emotions and how I should navigate through my own sets of beliefs. 2 separate times, you have guilt tripped me. You guilt tripped me one time for feeling emotions, for feeling the existence of life when it's overwhelming and exhausting. And you have guilt tripped me and over lectured me when I decide I don't want to go back to church at this point. I don't know what I'm doing here. I decide to question my own faith.
But you still need to pursue this
relationship with God. How? How when I can't even feel it? Well, but how were you able to get used to it? Because I was brainwashed, bro. Dog. How would I tell you that? Back then I was pretty brainwashed. Now I'm not. How do I tell you that Santa Claus and Tooth Fairy isn't real, but we believed it back then because you have totally convinced us that it was so mightily real, and that we grew up and then we ultimately realized we started thinking for ourselves. You just want us to stay in this freaking childlike mindset to the point of no thinking skills, no constructive thinking, no critical thinking of oneself, just give and take, just blindly believe, blindly obey. It's hilarious. Lecturing me about my voice, by the way, too. I have a naturally deep monotone voice, but they want to lecture me and criticize me for having a deep voice. They want to criticize me for not having enough enthusiasm with my voice when it's just literally my voice box. Oh, I'm not praying for my heart. You constantly say that the heart's deceitful. What? Which one is it? Is it my heart's deceitful, or I need to actually prioritize my heart? Choose one. Oh my goodness, have a consistent thought pattern challenge, bro. It's like I'm always living life. It's like I'm always being constantly surveillanced. I'm always surveilling myself into how I'm living, how I'm thinking, how I'm doing things. When, bro, I'm just learning, bro. I gotta learn and grow somehow. But you're not allowing me to learn. You're not allowing me to grow. So I'm just gonna stay sheltered. I'm just gonna stay shutting up. I'm not gonna say anything. Because you want to constantly tell me how I should live my life. So now I'm just staying shut. Just how it goes. Oh man. I love my life. So much comedic factors, so much comedic events, so much nonsense. But ultimately, there's also such great lessons learned, whether through myself or through other people. Teaching myself how to not be like these people and to ultimately go away from them, get away from them. It's just one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. It is. So, hey, I gotta find a job still. I gotta still experience life for what it is. I still gotta clean my room. I still gotta learn how to paint my room. Again, though, if I'm not over relying on other people, you're in threat of me. You're scared of me. You're scared because I didn't fully tap into my potential. Once I fully tap my potential, I'm unstoppable, bro. I am. Like, look at me on some things that I've learned over time. Like, thinking for myself. Look at me knowing, let's say, NBA, MLB history. Knowing precedents. I didn't allow other people to stop me on learning precedents, bro. Memorizing all their names and all of their terms and conditions. But you gotta hold them. And that's why in some cases it's gonna be really difficult for me to prioritize myself. It's gonna be a really tough road. And I'm not just talking just the word. I'm talking in terms of the repetition and consistency. I have been taught so many times, so many different directions. They just pull me in different directions. I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be doing that. It's like tiring. The micro lecturing is just exhausting. It's traumatizing and painful too, because you're always monitoring yourself. You're teaching your nervous system to always be scared. Damn. Like literally nothing could happen and you're still scared. You could be standing still like this the whole time in the park. And you're still scared because you feel like somebody's gonna come after you and be like, why are you standing here? You're living life wrong. But you're not doing literally anything. You're just standing there. That's the worst part about how other people associate with you, how you tend to accumulate and cultivate some energy. In my case, I tend to attract weird ass people. I tend to attract a lot of people that can't fathom me being a better person. And that's just what it is sometimes. So, just in a general hindsight, micro-lecturing has completely altered the way I navigate. And I have to learn and grow from this experience. I have to do the work. I'm responsible now for taking charge. But these people are still to blame. I'm still blaming these type of people for ruining my life. But they ain't ruined my life to the point where now it's over. They ruined my life because they altered and they stopped me from pursuing at such an early age on what I truly want. Yeah, there could be other factors such as tuition and stuff. Yet the general landscape and the general mindset, the handicap, the limitations of how other people think of me is also the reason why I wasn't able to go further in life. Like, I could be much further in life. At this stage, okay, very much a hypothetical. Let's just talk a hypothetical scenario. If I was able to pursue acting at full fruition, even with tuition and stuff, I could still go to community college for theater. So I pursue theater in community college, and bam, once I get my degree in theater, I'm still able to find a job because I'm pursuing what I loved. I'm even pursuing other avenues too because I got the degree factor. Yet I didn't. I didn't fully finish my theater degree. I didn't fully did what I wanted to do because I did what other people told me. And that's my problem. But also the problem of them because they have orchestrated such good gaslighting and manipulation tactics to where I can't prioritize myself anymore. Well, I lived and learned, and I grew from it. And now I am putting myself in a position to not just get it together, but to also consider myself without any shame or guilt. And I'm so happy that I'm able to make this decision. So, thank you guys for this journey, man. I'm really grateful for you guys. I'm blessed. I don't know who I'd be without you. I promise I will continue to grow and I'll continue to elevate to a better person. I don't want to just be a good person. I don't want to just worry about being a bad person. I want to worry of the fact that I'm not doing good enough for you. I want to worry that, hey, I had the opportunity to help you and I get to take it. That's the type I want to be. I want to be better. Simple. Best version of myself? Of course. Being better is a much more realistic option. We're cheering again with this. Okay.